Hello, my name is Harry Hammond. I'm going to talk to you today about how independent schools prepare young people for the world of work. After a degree in biochemistry at the University of Liverpool, I've taught chemistry for my whole career, the last 25 years being at Radley College, where I did a variety of jobs before running what's called external affairs. This is admissions and partnerships, but primarily careers. So Radley College is an all-boy, all-boarding school. It's about 3 miles from Oxford. Currently we're about 12 or 14% overseas. During the talk, obviously I will be talking about how Radley College does things, careers-wise, but what I'm going to say here will apply equally to any independent school. So, challenges with your teenager. So we have boys here between the ages of 13 to 18. There's a lot on their mind. And probably about the last thing on their mind, to be honest, is careers. They won't want to talk about it much. But it's our job as teachers and your job as parents to inspire them for what's going to come after school. Now, children tend to be heavily influenced by their parents' jobs. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You might be very pleased about that. But I think what we have to try and do is to keep their minds open and try to get them into the right skill area. Not necessarily a particular career, but something where they're going to use their particular talents. One of the big challenges coming up is artificial intelligence, and I probably don't need to tell you too much about this. People use a lot more AI than they think. In a survey done recently, 33% of people said they think they use it every day, but in fact, 77% of people actually use AI every day. What it's going to do is it's going to make softer skills even more important in the workplace. But the downside is presumably it will lead to a reduction in the number of jobs. So here's a newspaper, imaginary newspaper from 2040. It gives us some idea of the projected rate of change. Some of you with long memories might remember a program called $1 Million Man, where a man was replaced by robotic parts. So that is increasingly becoming a reality. Driverless cars were seen as pure fantasy not that long ago. So things are changing fast, even with a president perhaps conversing with a dolphin, who knows. Now, some of these may surprise you. These are the least essential skills in an AI era. And some of these, like writing and reviewing resumes, you think, well, that's very much a human skill. But in fact, it is something that they think that machines will be doing in the not too distant future, creating curricula, legal research, things like that. Things that we might traditionally teach at schools actually will be done by machines. So what do you need for success to get a good job? So these are the crucial skills areas. Qualifications, of course, come from schools and from university, and most importantly, doing extra courses as well. It wasn't long ago that an MA was seen as the norm for a high-powered career. Now it's a PhD. The skills required are things such as emotional intelligence, leadership, teamwork, critical thinking. Now, boarding schools are outstanding at nurturing these talents. It's really what we're all about. Work experience is crucial for any successful application. Schools can help enormously with this through their networks, but parents are very important here too. Contacts, as for work experience. In some ways, independent school children almost have an unfair advantage with the contacts they get by going to these schools. And if you notice on that diagram above, it's a multiple. Contacts is a multiple rather than an addition, which shows how important it is. So at Radley, we have 3 main aims in the careers department. But as I said, this will apply to any good school. Firstly, to encourage students to widen their horizons beyond school. We achieve this partly through having a huge range of external speakers who challenge preconceptions and broaden critical thinking. But work experience is often achieved through networking, which is what we're going to talk about next. So the Radley community, or basically the boarding school community, includes parents, ex-parents, staff and ex-staff, governors as well as old boys. LinkedIn is a very useful tool, which I'm sure a lot of you use already, but it's not quite such a close connection. So we have a thing called Radley Connect. It's a bespoke service. It's safer. It's, for example, parents offering work experience or seeking work experience for their son or daughter. It can also be used to connect parent with parent, which is very useful for business. So this is our key networking tool. The third thing is to encourage the development and improvement of skills for the workplace of the future. And these are the ones I talked about earlier. Emotional intelligence, flexibility, resilience, critical thinking, leadership, business skills, awareness of AI, communication skills, and good IT skills. What we're looking to do is to create a well-rounded, versatile, thoughtful individual. Now, boarding school day is incredibly busy. The boys rush from lessons, they go to talks, they go to sports, they go to music. That is real good preparation for the world of work. They've got to learn to deal with many different characters. That is what life is like in a boarding house. That requires good man management skills. There's natural competition of boarding life as well that helps sharpness, resilience, as well as independence. So this is our provision over the 5 years of their time with us. And as they move through the school, obviously the focus sharpens. But the big thrust really comes from the middle of year 11, because in year 11 they are choosing their A-levels. Their A-levels will inform their university choice. Their university choice will inform their career. Advice can be given by the head of careers or by the head of universities, and those two departments work very closely together. One of the big preparations for the future is interview preparation, and this cannot be underestimated, just how important that is. As a friend of mine worked for a high-powered company on the recruitment side, and he always said one of the most important things he's looking for is a good sense of humour. Can the young person make them smile? And boarding schools, you've got to have a good sense of humour, because there will be ups and downs. Generally, what interviewers are looking for are well-rounded, busy and interesting characters. And I think the busyness of a boarding school really comes into its own, not so much looking for universities when they're looking for university entrance, but when they're looking for a job. That's what employers want to see. So, what is your role as a parent, finally? As a good parent, please be a listener, be positive and encouraging, and encourage them in their interests. Be an advocate. Help your son or daughter avoid thinking too much about it. Keep their minds open. Help them to take advantage of everything. They will probably be reluctant to pursue leads, but encourage them in that. Encourage their dreams. Use that as a starting point. And finally, above anything else, be a good networker. Thank you very much for listening today. If you have any questions on this or anything else about the school, please do get in touch. Stephanie will have my details. Thank you.